It's time, my friends, for a new series of Devo tips on Paul's rules for radicals in Second Timothy. We're going to look at rule number 1, which is real power is a person. Well, radicals want to change the world, and Saul Alinsky's Rules for Radicals book, written in 1971, offers tactics of organizing people to work for social change. These rules provide an action plan in how to manipulate effectively and stir up a bit of trouble to advance your agenda and seize power. No wonder Alinsky points to Lucifer in his introduction. He writes, the very first radical known to man who rebelled against the establishment and did it so effectively that he at least won his own kingdom. Rules for Radicals reminds me, however, of C.S. Lewis's Screwtape Letters, in which the senior demon, Screwtape, tries to mentor his demon nephew, Wormwood, in how to corrupt a human soul away from God, whom Screwtape calls the enemy. Well, in this series, we'll see how Paul's rules for radical Christians in 2 Timothy contrasts Alinsky's rules. So let's look at it. Alinsky's rule number 1, power is not only what you have, but what the enemy thinks you have. In the absence of real power, you must appear to have more power than you do. So just the impression of dominance will intimidate all opposing voices. Contrast this to Paul's rule number 1 for radical Christians. Real power is a person. Real power is found in a resurrected, crucified Jew, according to 2 Timothy 1. The cross of Christ revealed what real power looks like. The same power, the power of self-giving love, now dwells in people like Timothy, his mom, his grandma, and you. For this reason, Paul writes, I remind you to fan into flame the gift of God which is in you through the laying on of my hands. You see, spiritual gifts implement the powerful presence of the risen King's healing, saving rule through his people. Like embers from the Holy Spirit, spiritual gifts need constant tending. So fire them up, Paul tells us, by looking for ways to use them every day. The gifts of the Spirit are designed to encourage and comfort us and equip us for optimum impact in making the world a better place. But what if we goof up? Shouldn't pastors do this stuff? Surely God wouldn't ask us to do something beyond our comfort zone, right? Well, according to Screwtape, the preferred method devils use is not putting things into the human mind, but keeping things out. So don't miss Paul's next point. God has not given you a spirit of fear, but of power and love and a sound mind. You see, the power of self-giving love compels us to look beyond ourselves because we are convinced that those who live should no longer live for themselves, but for him who died for them and was raised again. That's 2 Corinthians 5. When spiritual gifts are driven by love, God will give us the prudent sensibility to act in ways that fit each situation. That's what Paul means by a sound mind. And that, my friends, is what pushes fear out of our heart. I think Tim Keller was right. He wrote, every believer has an almost unique gift matrix to glorify God through their unique personality. In fact, God's Spirit may download any gift to any one of us at any time, inside the church and beyond the church walls. Keller writes, on top of this, there are different seasons in our lives when the context we live in call the gifts out in us in different ways. And he says, Put these variables together, and each person's ministry may be as unique as a thumbprint. Love that. Yes, radical, self-giving love holds the power to change the world one life at a time.